Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee here with you for your lunch break, and we're glad that you joined us here today as you do every single day, noon to 1. And, again, our program brought to you every single day by 4 great corporate partners. Couldn't ask for better ones. J. Smith Construction, Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, and Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Store. So glad to be partnered up with them. Randy, good to see you. A lot to talk about here today on this Auburn Blitz as we look ahead to Auburn playing at home for the next to last time coming up tomorrow night against Ole Miss. It's not a very good team coming in. Auburn should be able to sleepwalk through that game, you would think. You want to take everybody seriously, though, but this is a 10-17 Ole Miss team. A team's only won 2 conference games. If you lose this one, you're definitely out of the NCAA tournament.
Well, for sure. And, we felt like the last couple of weeks have really been must-win situations outside of the best teams here in the conference that we lost to. But I was over there Saturday night at Vandy. Brett, the crowd was amazing in favor of Auburn.
Of course.
If you took the student body out of the Coliseum, it was probably 2/3 of the rest there were Vandy. And their fan base was not very happy about it. I had some discontents that sat in front of me.
Yeah.
One old man, I had my 2 kids there, and my 2 kids trying to have a good time. I have this, and I know everybody kind of I'll go through this story.
Yeah.
Because
Please
at times
tell.
some of us need to pass along what we see at opposing coliseums and gyms, so we hopefully don't do this. So I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Right.
7-year-old's birthday, and we're over in Nashville visiting my sister, and we go to the game. We have real good seats. We weren't the only Auburn people there. I think a lot of the Vandy fans took advantage of how rabid we are about our Auburn basketball, and they sold them. So we were right behind our bench on the opposite side, but we were on our bench on the other side of the goal. We were 3 rows up. So the front 2 rows, of course, probably scholarship seats. And we got this man, and he's nervous. Yeah. He's not really talking. He's a big dude, really odd. You ever seen these guys that, they're kind of moving around in their seat somewhere like they got a part to play in the ball game?
Oh, yeah, he's upset.
He's 68 years old.
But
he couldn't run up and down that court twice.
But he's into it.
The Lord forced him.
But he's into it.
But he's in it, man.
He's into it.
He's in it. And every time we're cheering, or my kids are cheering, he's looking back there at him. I mean, a 9-year-old, dude. I mean, I'm wanting to look at this guy go, partner, would you just chill out a little bit? I mean, really, we're just here to have a good time. I'm not looking at you dead in your face and screaming, War Eagle, would you go jump out on the court, you old fart? But I'm thinking that the whole time. And so, the guy at the end of the game, he turns around and we lose, and he takes his hat and he's flinging it and slinging it up there to the, because the whole balcony is Auburn fans. Completely Auburn fans. And I don't know. I finally had a talk with my kids after it, and I say, you see how he acted?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Don't be that guy.
Why be that guy? Because when you're a fan, I'm not telling people how to act and how not to cheer, but at a certain point, he wasn't cheering.
Yeah.
He was nervous Purvis, sitting on his hands until they won, and every time something positive went Vandy's way. So I left out of there with a different opinion of the great Vanderbilt fan base.
Yeah.
And the illustrious Vanderbilt people.
They probably
expected.
They probably have a chip on their shoulder because they are the bottom dweller in about every sport except baseball.
Yeah.
So I totally get that, and most of they probably get upset that every time they kick off a football game or have a basketball game, the opposing team has more fans in their place than they do. And that's any fan base. I mean, they look at that trip as a trip to, hey, it's an away game. We got a really good chance of winning. and we're going to have more fans in there than them, so to kind of feel like a home game. So a lot of fan bases, I've talked to several fans of other teams that always make sure they go to Nashville to a football game or a baseball game or a basketball game or whatever, because it gives them an opportunity, number one, to be in Nashville, number two, to take in a game where they've really got a shot at winning on the road. So, hey, no different in South Carolina this year. When Auburn went to South Carolina, there were more Auburn fans in there than they had South Carolina fans. So I'm not surprised. And, I'm sure he doesn't represent every Vanderbilt fan.
I'm not trying to act like that.
But you just should know that every fan base has those guys.
They
every
have
one of them.
And I would much rather mine not act like that.
Right.
I've sat around people that just sit around, and it's like they're looking for the opposition below them.
Who, me?
You've done it before.
Me?
I'm not looking at you while I'm talking,
Yeah.
but you have been this guy before, especially when you were younger.
Yeah.
But it's like
not
you
so
are
much
looking to attack this poor individual
Right.
that happened to just want to come watch the game, and he hasn't looked at you.
Right.
He hasn't said anything to
Right.
you, and you're pointing at him like he is
I've been
there in the
I've done
wrong
it
spot.
before.
Well,
I've definitely done it before.
well,
I'm admitting,
you sat in
so.
front of me at Vandy the other night, and I
Yeah.
left out of there not thinking too highly of Vandy.
Not highly
Okay.
enough. So, hey, that in the younger days, you probably did things you weren't as proud of. So I haven't been doing that in quite some time. But look, it's good to go out and visit other venues and see other places. That's the fun part of traveling around SEC. I've been to a lot of the football venues. Haven't been to all of them yet, and had a chance to go to Arkansas a couple of times and hadn't done it. It's just the trip's a little bit long, but I'll eventually make my way around to all of them. But been to some really cool venues to watch some football games, around the SEC. So, yeah, get out and about, and hate that you went up there and it didn't turn out Auburn's way. We had an opportunity to win that game numerous times, and we weren't able to do it.
Well, we're just odd at the guard position. We can have moments where Wendell can go for 23 to 25, and then we can have games like he had the other night where I think he was, 2 of 13 from the field. I don't have the stats in front of me. You'll have to help me out there. But only ends up with, 5 points there in the ball game. And KD maybe gets 6, 3 of those coming with 10
It's the worst
seconds
game
to go.
I think Wendell Green's ever
So
played.
between the two of them, maybe 10 points. And you're not going to win basketball games when your 2 leading guards, and Allen Flanagan played worse than they did. So it
just
kind of
don't get
is
me
what
started.
it is. Luckily for us, our post play was really good. Janai Broom had 20.
Right.
Jalen Williams kept getting those little floaters in the lane, those little semi-hook shots
Yeah.
that he was knocking down, and he was really strong. I think he had 17 points, so 37 points between those two, but we could not stop their big guy. And it
He
was
was a 1-star, by the way, coming out of high school.
well, it was for good reason, Brett. This Robbins, he can really move around.
Right.
He doesn't look out of position with his frame. A lot of
Right.
times you'll see these big frames, and they're immobile. They're really odd. They can't use both hands. They shoot free throws very poorly. Well, of course, that wasn't the case the other night where he hit 18 free throws, but it was his physicality down in the paint that caused us to foul as often as we did.
Right.
And Janai Broom's being forced to
Right.
give up about 3 inches and a lot of length when it comes to arm
Where was the
length.
car? I mean, I didn't see the minutes on Cardwell. Did he not play as much?
He went in early in the first.
I mean,
and-
I watched the game, but I just can't remember.
Well,
how
he
much.
asked out before he was out there 4 or 5 minutes and just didn't do a lot that I can remember.
And I told David yesterday, I said, this is exactly opposite of what really went on against Missouri, where Cardwell had 20 minutes and really kind of split the game up with Janai Broom was on the floor a lot with him together. I didn't see that this past Saturday, and we were getting eaten alive inside. So I didn't really understand why we didn't go back to him and maybe stop that a little bit, because that's where they beat us, is inside. And again, I hate to harp on a guy. A guy can get better, and he did play good, but that guy was a 1-star coming out of high school. This was not some highly recruited. I hate to throw a name out there, but it'd be like Jack Purchase having a career night against you. I mean, and we did.
Well,
and
but here the difference though is, Brett, he's averaging 16 points a game.
I
He's
know
their
he
leading
is.
scorer.
I know he is.
He's not.
Well, I
some-
prefaced it. I said he's gotten better. He's not the
It's
guy.
not that he's gotten better, man. He's a 16-point a game, 7'1", long, strong, great free throw shooting, big. I'd love to have him.
Right.
Man, he'd be a perfect fit for Auburn. He would add so much to Auburn when it comes to length and allow Janai to play the 4.
Right.
I think where we're missing
I'm
right
just saying,
now is a 5.
We are
especially
missing
on
a
the
5. I
defensive
mean,
end,
we're looking at it right here.
and allow Janai to play the 4.
Because Janai's, look, he's a little soft when it comes to that. He's a scorer, but in some of these games where it's been physical, and I know he put 20 on the board, but in a lot of these games where it's been real physical inside, he's gone missing, man. And he scored like 4 points, 7 points. I know against Tennessee he struggled. Against West Virginia he struggled. I mean, there's been some games where he's gone missing. So Patrick kind of comes in with several comments. I'll go through here before the break. He said Wendell was 2 for 14 from the field. Jalen was 8 of 12. Jalen only had 5 points, though, in the second half, and he did. He was on fire in the first half, and he kind of went non-existent in the second half.
Missed some outside shots.
Yeah.
Leor missed 2 open threes. He had 8 points in the game, but he had 2 looks at 3 that really would have been huge. And he had nice pump fakes out there at the three-point arc, step to the side, wide open shots, very seldom. And you and I have been seeing him play basketball for about, 7 or 8 years now. Not often I've seen him miss open shots like that, but he'd love to have those 2 back. That would have been big ones.
Got some more comments coming in. We'll get to them when we come back. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. the clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Randy and Brett here with you for 45 more minutes today. Get your calls in, 256-234-6221. Your comments are coming through. David said, Randy, a young couple from Huntsville that I talked to at the hotel had a similar experience in the Oxford scholarship section. Two older women, they were distraught. So unfortunate. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, it really does, you know, it affects the experience for sure. If you happen to be sitting beside, you know, we've all got those stories and we can all tell them, because if you've ever traveled on the road, you know, somebody's been right there giving you up the road because you got the other colors on. So,
well, I'll give you one more of this. So my 9-year-old sitting beside me, and my wife's here, and my daughter's on the other end beside my sister. My 9-year-old beside me is right directly behind him.
Right.
And he turns around, it's like he's looking at my 9-year-old. And he looked at my wife and said, right after he did it one time, he said, "He's mean," kind of out loud.
Yeah, right.
Will you swap seats with me? And so he had to get up, move seats beside me to let her come sit over there, because this old, I mean, really.
So y'all didn't have send-offs after the game?
No, he sent us off with a
big.
He had a big old bald head. I just can see him. I got a picture in my mind of this old creep, and he had a bald head, and he had got his hat like lost, and he one of these shaking dudes. You know, he's like,
yeah,
I don't know. He's real nervous, pervous. You know, he's nervous about the whole game, even though he ain't broke a sweat in 50 years, but he's real nervous about what's going on out there on the court. And he's shaking, and he got his hat stuck underneath. He's shaking, trying to get it out, and he finally got it out, and he's shaking it to us, and he's shaking it to all the people
Sending
up there.
out.
Oh boy, I was real happy my kids were with me, because I was a millisecond away from telling him where he could stick that hat, and it was directly where the sun didn't shine.
You should have.
Well, I did not in front of my kids, but I thought it.
Let's get some more comments here. It says, Patrick said Cardwell's out of place, is always out of place. It kind of seems like he gets a little bit lost sometimes out there. I'd have to agree with Patrick.
He got in a tough situation on the final drive of the ball game. Vandy had that set up nice. Yeah. We enter him into the game to kind of rim protect, but he's also defending a guy that's under the basket.
That you can get a lob to.
Well, you get a lob, you can get a dish real quick. You had the time, and so he stayed over there on him as long as he could, and then he tried to come across and get a block on the ball with the point goes through the lane of his left. I watched that one and wanted to throw blame that way, but there was no blame you could throw there. I thought he defended about as well as he could. You know, when you get beat off the ball the way that we did up top there, you're in trouble.
Free throw shooting has to improve, especially on the road. I hate to beat a dead horse, but officiating is terrible. It has to improve. I don't know that that's going to happen. I think if you probably go down and look at the foul discrepancy for visitors versus home opponents, or
anywhere you go,
a study. If you wanted to do a study on and do all the home games over here for the home team and then all the away teams and look at the discrepancy, that'd be an interesting study to go. And I mean, it'd take a long time because I mean you're looking at all the games every week. that you would have compiled at the end and look at how a visiting team shot free throws versus how the home team shot free throws, as far as how many trips to the line did they get?
It would take going back and analyzing and watching the game to see where we think the calls were missed. David usually does a really good job of that, so hopefully he
said yesterday we were guilty of a lot of the fouls that were called on us. Now, again, that doesn't mean that. I think a lot of times what Patrick's saying is that they may call it one-sided. They may get the call and we don't. The same thing may happen to our guy driving inside and they don't call it. And I think a lot of that happens to road teams. That's just part of having to battle. That's why we've always said it's hard to get a win on the road. Doesn't matter how good you are, you got to play exceptionally well to really give yourself a chance.
And we weren't a lot better than Vandy.
We weren't. Well, we got the same dadgum record as them in the SEC. So, when you look at it from that standpoint, all right, so let's look at some scenarios.
Got a quick phone.
All right, so let's go to the phone lines before we do that. Caller, go ahead.
Yeah, this is James up in Clay, Alabama.
What's up, James? How are you, buddy?
Doing good. Andy, I'm going to tell you how you solve that stuff from happening.
It's not Andy, it's Randy.
I know it's Andy. I can't come in. I'm sorry. All right, look, Andy and Britt. I know y'all. Okay, I'm got my mind on old Andy because he's under the weather, I guess.
That's right.
I want him to
That's
get
right.
well. That's all. I like y'all just as well. But, Randy, here's what you do. When you got a problem like that, obviously you would look for some security and then this, that, and the other, but you don't want anybody messing with your kid. And I had that happen one day down in Jordan-Hare. I couldn't find anybody, the police and the deputies that worked it and everything. I couldn't find them. This guy was making a very he was dressed up like Ric Flair. The whole bit, except he wasn't that big. He was probably 175 or 80 pounds. That's okay. But he did some crap like that with my son, and I told him twice. I said, buddy, last time you do that, something's going to happen to you. And he said, when was the last time I did it? Just now, he said, and he knocked my son's cap off up there. Well, he ended up down about 4 rows ahead of me. I'll just let it go at that. But they came up there and they hauled his butt out of that stadium. But he was dressed up like Ric Flair. I don't know what he was on. It definitely was maybe some trial thing they got out there at the ag school. I'm not sure. But,
who were we playing?
About it.
Who were we playing, James?
I was at home.
Well, I know who was the opponent.
The opponent, as I remember it, was Arkansas.
Was it an Arkansas fan or an Auburn fan?
It was an Auburn fan. That's what made it so damn bad.
I've never heard anything.
Made me madder than hell. And I told him, I said, if you do that again, I'm going to take that cape. And there's an old boy I knew right up behind me. I went to high school with him, played ball with him. I told him, I said, next time he touches my kid, me and you going to take him out there, and one or two things are going to happen. He's going to be Tarzan and fly off into the sunset, or he's going to be Ric Flair hit the deck about 45 feet down there below us, wherever it was. We were up sort of in the turn of the southwest end zone, down there where the new, I guess you call it, communication house is, where the old, they used to have some flower beds down there a long time ago. But,
well, you definitely taken
2 or 3 deputies or whoever's attention. And I thought, okay, I'll just end this damn thing. And I did. I took him, slung him over about 4 people's heads and hauled it up. He plopped up down there somewhere.
Well, James, we appreciate that story, my man. We got to run, brother. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate you so much. We'll get a break on that. Thank you, James. That's the oddest fan experience I think we've heard.
Ric Flair.
Yeah. Stay tuned. More of Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
High school championship basketball is bouncing its way to the Legacy Arena in Birmingham, and so is WOTM, your AHSAA TV network. Starting February 27th, catch all of the exciting semifinals live as they happen. Every dunk, every three-pointer, every steal. It's boys and girls high school basketball every day, live on the AHSAA TV network.
They're playing basketball.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin-lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
No monthly payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cabs discounted up to $7,500 off. The midsize Chevrolet Malibus up to $5,250 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through the program. Today, you can get your calls in, talk about your odd stadium experiences. If you'd like, James had one that may be the most bizarre of all, a Ric Flair impersonator. And it's usually between opposing team fans, not your own. So that one hit Bizarro a little bit more because he got into it with an Auburn fan. So, hey, let's go. And I want to talk about, can Auburn, how can they get in the NCAA tournament? They're making it tough on themselves because they're putting it in the committee's hands every time they lose one of these games coming down the stretch. What will it take to stay in the field? What's realistically a possibility? Auburn's got 4 games left: Ole Miss, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee in that order. You got 2 at home, 2 on the road. Tennessee, they're 20-7. They're not much better than us. They got Missouri tonight. This will be Missouri's toughest game left on their schedule before Alabama. And I know that Missouri's looking at that game at home as a chance to Texas A&M, rather, I believe, is who it is. They're looking at that game with an opportunity to say, look, if we can get past this game, we'll have a chance at Alabama with a shot at the number 1 seed in the SEC tournament. So this Texas A&M team has proven all the naysayers wrong, one of the hottest teams in the country. We'll see what they can do against Tennessee. Now, let's flip back over and talk about Auburn. They got that Tennessee team at home the very last game. It should be a winnable game at Neville Arena. Tennessee's not a superb offensive team. Teams struggle on the road a lot of times shooting the ball, so we'll see. But Ole Miss tomorrow night, got to take care of business. Then you go to Kentucky at Rupp Arena. They're playing a little bit better, but this is not a great Kentucky team. You got a shot there.
I think you better win tonight, and you better beat.
I'm not sure.
You better beat one of maybe the 2 teams between Kentucky and Alabama, and then win that final game against Tennessee.
So you're saying
at home.
win 3?
Well, that only gets you to 21 wins.
I know, but I'm just.
I don't know that 20 wins gets us in.
All right, so here's what I told David yesterday. I'm exactly on your side of the fence. David's on the other side a little bit right now. I'm with you. I mean, we had a chance to be going for win 20 here tonight if we'd have taken care of business against Vanderbilt. Didn't do it. Now you put yourself, your back's against the wall. If you go 3-1, I think you're definitely in. Okay, let's just go ahead and throw that out there. 2-2, I think you're on the fence. I mean, I think it really depends on what the committee thinks about the entire body of work. You go 1-3, I think you'll have to win some games in the SEC tournament, but it's like I told you, I'm not sure the committee gives a lot of weight to those tournament wins. You watched Texas A&M last year make a run all the way to the end, get in the championship game and lose. A lot of people thought just by their run the SEC tournament they were in. They didn't get picked. They were left out. So I think you're playing with fire if you only win 1 game, and that'd be tomorrow night, and you got to hope you win a couple of games SEC tournament. I think you're putting way too much of your fate in the committee's hands.
I think 21 wins at the least, probably 22 wins would get you in. So however you get there.
That's 4 more. You got to win 4 more games to get to 22.
And the odds are probably against us.
I said yesterday.
Past 21.
I said yesterday, I don't mean to be negative Nanny, but I think we're an NIT team. I hate it. I want to make the NCAA tournament. I want to keep this streak going. Want to continue to compete, but we've missed too many opportunities. Now look, we've got great opportunities in front of us. You got 4 quad 1 opportunities with Alabama.
Oh, you win 3 of those 4, I think you make it.
Yeah, I think if you win, even Ole Miss is not going to give you a lot of credence, but you got to get the win. I'm going to say if Auburn's able to go 2-2, I think they'll get the benefit of the doubt. I think they'll look at the committee will look at this, and that's without a win in the conference tournament. I think if they can go 2-2 in the last 4, I think somehow they get in. 1-3, they're not. They're not going to make it. So, all right. So, what would be better, a one and done in the NCAA tournament, or winning the NIT for this team?
One and done in the NCAA tournament. Care less about the NIT.
Nobody cares.
Well, it just is a second tier tournament.
Well, Texas A&M made the run last year.
I would not even know that if you don't say it right now.
Right.
That's how little I care about it. I'd rather have the chance to go as a 10 or 11 seed and play a 6 or 7 seed and have a chance to move on and possibly make the Sweet 16 or do something like that rather than
always want to make the NCAA
run the NIT.
Always want to make the NCAA tournament unequivocally over a deep run in the NIT. I mean, I hate to say it, but NIT stands for not in tournament. That's been the little knock the whole time. And look, this is a program that used to. If we could make it NIT, we'd be all right with it. This is a major disappointment if we make an NIT here. So, but this team, again, is not. It's got its bright points, but it's got a lot of holes in it. We're not deep on this roster. We don't score the basketball very well. We've struggled offensively all season long, and from week to week, you don't know who the person's going to be that steps up and gives you 16. Jalen Williams had 17 the other night.
Yep.
He's just as apt to have 5 against Ole Miss coming back at home. You don't know what he's going to give you. Same with Janai Broome. Same with Wendell Green. I mean, he only hit 2 shots all night long. Anybody would have said, there's no way Wendell Green.
Then steps to the free throw line and goes 1 for 2 there late in the basketball game. And I did not expect that miss on that second one, and it was a big miss at the time.
It was a big miss.
Because any points that you left out there were huge misses, and would have put a lot more pressure on them, I think.
Right.
And but it just wasn't our night. It definitely wasn't his night.
You look at some teams that depend on how many the committee wants in from the SEC, and you look at some teams right now. Texas A&M was that bubble team. I think they vaulted themselves way above that now. There's no way they get left out. But Missouri and Auburn, if all things are equal, Auburn kind of beat them unmercifully last week. You look at a team that's got a 19-win record, it's going to be very similar. So there's going to be some things to look at. You got to look at the Ken Palm, you got to look at the net. There's going to be all kinds of different things. I think
one of the biggest stats that they look is how you finished your last 5, though. So Auburn's got 4 more here, and then the SEC tournament. That's your 5 games that you're closing with.
And it's a tough one.
If you look down and you're 2 and 3 in those 5, and you only get to 21 wins, or you only get to 20 wins, I think that you're definitely in trouble. If Auburn gets to 3 and 2 in that last 5, which would mean we would go 3 and 3 because we would have to lose that follow-up game and get to 21 wins, I think we'd be okay. But tough finding 3 wins in that last 5
you put
right
yourself, you're going to look back at that Georgia game on the road, look at that Vanderbilt game. You're going to look at several games that you had a chance to win that you let get away from you.
Probably a better chance of winning those 2 at home for Auburn and then going to the SEC tournament and winning 1 there, get you to 21 wins.
And probably get you in.
Probably get you in, but it's going to take that win in the SEC tournament. I know I hear you loud and clear, but I bet it takes that win to get us in.
May do it. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
WAXC TV3's Basketball Game of the Week is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC on the Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Get ready to smile. Catch game replays on WAXC TV3 and on our Roku app. Games replay Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. and also Saturday and Sunday at 6:30. Catch the replays of these games airing now from Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika and WAXC TV3.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left on today's show. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. Also, you can comment away on Facebook Live. You can go to our Sports Blitz page, that's Sports with a Z, and comment away. We appreciate all the comments and all that have come in out there. I want to thank our sponsors, Mortgage Pro there at McKinley team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do It Center, and Building Supply Stores, and J. Smith Construction for partnering with us here on the Auburn Blitz every single day, and couldn't ask for four better ones. Auburn starts spring practice next Monday, so getting ready to hit the field. Hugh Freeze with this team, and I don't know, I can't remember if David said this on there yesterday or not. I'm not going to throw names out there just in case, David. I know you're watching, but he talked with somebody this past week that's inside the program, and he told him, he said, if it were not for the transfer portal, it would take us 4+ years to get this place back in order to where we could be competitive. But with the transfer portal and being able to go out and recruit, they're going to be able to fill holes, and they're going to be able to put people in places like they've already done.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to go ahead and put a competitive product on the field year one. That's the benefit of this transfer portal. You think about the damage that had been done by the end of Malzahn's era and the non-existent of Brian Hartson and nothing that he did for 2 years. You are set back 3 or 4 years because the recruiting had just withered away to nothing. And the quality of player that you had coming in comparable to the teams you got to compete with was so far down, it take you that long to just try to even dig your head out of the hole.
Well, a couple of thoughts on that. When you're talking about the quality of player in comparison to the competition that you're in, you and I've had this program time and time again. And you can end up with a 15th to 20th ranked class and end up with about a fourth of the talent that the two main rivals that Auburn has. We'll call them three. We'll call them three main rivals. Let's talk about LSU, Georgia, and Alabama.
Right.
If you finish 15th to 20th, you probably get a fourth of what they get from a talent standpoint. And I, as an Auburn fan, am very happy that you can fix this in the transfer portal system and we can have a competitive product thrown out there. But you don't hear me say this much, but I'll say it here. I kind of yearn for the times where you have to build a program. And you got to do things right. And you got to build on one solid class and one solid foundation and one culture change on top of another.
I think Hugh Freeze will, but in the meantime, for programs that are down like ours.
No, I'm saying it's good that it is happening. I'm saying that I'm not overly excited that that's the day and age that we live in, that you don't have to do things right for a long period of time, and you can flip it.
And you can catch up.
And you can flip it overnight because it keeps you from feeling like you've got to continuously do things the right way.
If you didn't have it, it would. I mean, some of these programs would be so far behind. You just never would even have a chance. So we all know that nothing was done for about 2 years at Auburn. It was a disgrace what was allowed to go on. And Auburn should never be recruiting outside the top 15 ever. You know when you're a top 15 to 20 perennial program in the country, year in and year out, you should be able to recruit in the top 15. You should be able to garner the services of those type of players. Now, I know there's other elements that go into play now with NIL and stuff like that, but I've had it many times with you and anybody else on this show. I've said that when you go into the schedule, there's X number of teams on the schedule you're better than. Just because you're Auburn and you have a talent base that's better than those opposing teams. Now, that doesn't mean that team can't sneak up and beat you every once in a while.
Because they do us a lot.
They do, like the Tennessees, and that's been my
Mississippi State's, the Ole
that's
Misses.
been my argument. You know that over time. It's not losing to Alabama.
South
it's
Carolina.
not losing to exactly. It's not losing to LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. When you can get your fair share of wins against them, you get them. But when you go lay an egg against an Arkansas or an Ole Miss or Mississippi State or South Carolina, when you're a better program and a better team, that's why you go 8-4. That's why you go 7-5. That's the difference in you going 9-3 or 10-2 or 8-4 and 7-5 is when you go lay eggs against teams and you're not prepared. And a lot of times that comes back to what? Coaching. And so Gus Malzahn was a perennial 7-5, 8-4 coach. Brian Harsin, I don't know what the heck he was. I do nothing is what he was.
He was the Tony Barbie of football.
He was I'm going to come and steal $20 million in broad daylight, and then I'm going to go on vacation. That's who he was. So, and he was on vacation while he was supposed to be working, obviously. Up against the final break of the program. Stay tuned. One more segment coming up right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz. Brett and Randy here with you. Just a few more minutes. If you'd like to give us a call, 256-234-6221. We'll end on some football talk. Justice sent us over something there on Hugh Freeze, and then we've got a little thing that we didn't even get a chance to get to here today. But I'm gonna go off the cuff here for a second. Hugh Freeze is working his rear end off right now. And he has since he stepped foot on campus. It's going to be hard-pressed to find somebody, even Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, that's outworking this guy right now. And we have not had that, Randy, at Auburn. In mine and your lifetime, maybe save Pat Dye. There has not been a coach that is, and I'm including Tommy Tuberville, and I love Coach Tuberville. I work with the man. I like him. He ain't worked like this. This guy right here, he ain't getting no sleep, man. And he is trying to do everything he can. He's behind the 8 ball, but I'm telling you, the effort he's putting in and what he's showing these recruits, Auburn's going to be back faster and maybe better than ever. And I'm going out there on a limb and saying, look, I'm not saying he's going to win some national championship, but I'm telling you, there ain't anybody in this conference right now that's outworking him.
And we needed it, and you couldn't have said it more clearly. We have a rabid fan base that will get behind and support. And there are others that will do the same, but none any better than ours. I'll say that. I was so taken back in Nashville by Tiger Walk and the fan support before the game and the cheering that was going on in those stands for Auburn that just –
you're not going to find a fan
that outweighed anything that we were hearing from the Vandy student section. And the only way that they could drown it out was to turn the music up as loud as they possibly could. That's how – passionate, and we're not very good this year.
No.
Let that sink in, and we all know it,
right.
And we're all perfectly fine with it, and we're all
right.
As supportive of Bruce Pearl as we were a few years ago when we went to the Final Four. I don't know any Auburn fans that aren't supportive of that man.
If
we make the NIT, we'll figure out a way to pack it out.
Neville Arena will be packed.
So I think that he's got that to build on. We've got the facilities that are now. We need to do a little bit with the stadium, but I'm sure it's in the works.
Well, it's in the works. If you saw,
but the football-only facilities second to none here in this conference and in this country. So he's got a lot to sell. And
I hate to beat a dead horse, but how sorry can you be?
Well, I want to bring up.
Seriously.
Let me ask you a question though, because I thought about this while you were bringing it up, and I know that you and I both are disgusted by what happened with Brian Harsin. Well, the trustees. The board of trustees and the leadership tried their best. Now, you can say that the way that they went about it by creating, whether the story was true or false or whatever, but they pretty much knew the summer after the first year
this wasn't working.
That this wasn't working and it wasn't going to work. And y'all can all get against us and think that we're the bad people that happen to be given all the money to allow us to do these things.
Right.
But nonetheless, y'all think that we're the bad people by saying this is not working.
Well, you know what didn't happen?
And a lot of Auburn fans, too.
You know what didn't happen in all that? We didn't ever get a clear story on why they wanted him out. Again, fabricating, you got to remember, the man started 6-2, no, number 18 in the country or 15 in the country, I can't remember. And then they lost out. And then everybody was frustrated, and you missed winning the Alabama game in overtime. Okay, you had a chance to win it. We were not anywhere on their same we weren't even in the atmosphere with Alabama. We had a chance to win the game. We lost, then you go to the bowl game and you just embarrassed. So you come back in the offseason, and then when that 2-month span, the trustees had fabricated or whatever, come up with this story that he was having relations and it was bad and, rumor of player abuse and all this kind of stuff. And obviously he had something on somebody and he wasn't able to be axed, so he hung around. So I hear you, and you're right. The problem is that none of this crap, we were seeing it through insiders and people like Jason that were, trying to be as nice as they could, but basically saying, look, ain't nothing going on down here. Ain't nothing going on down here. And why didn't somebody come out and say, this is unacceptable for this program and to be able to compete? This man is sitting on his rear end not doing a
Well, I think the system, you and I were having a conversation during the break about another system that's important to us, and that's the public education system here in this state. Well, I think a lot of them are broken. I think a lot of these systems, including how you get rid of a college coach when they aren't performing up to a standard that you expect. Well, you got buyouts. You got clauses that are built into these contracts that don't allow you to do it. You got teachers that are underperforming that you can't get rid of because of the old school system. I'm using a correlation between these two things that you and I are both passionate about. And the final analysis is the process of getting rid of people and doing things the right way have been changed so much over the last quarter century that you can't fix it.
I'm just not sure you're right. Going back to kind of relive why we got to that point, you just fired Malzahn and paid a boatload of money. Now you hired this guy who was the wrong hire. And
you fired the athletic director that did it.
Yeah, and you're trying to – now you got to look at him. The reason they came up with some type of story is to try to figure out a way to not have to pay that buyout. Let's just be honest about it. And so you put yourself in that position. Now you're paying all this money. Now you got to go find another coach and pay them a salary. So this debt just keeps building upon itself. And you're right. There's no way out of it unless you come up with a way of, I guess, coming up with a derelict of duties or something like that you come up with. But I truly think that if I were been in those positions, I'd have said, you know what, Brian Harsin, we got proof. You ain't done squat. You have basically abandoned this job and done nothing. You have run it in the ground. We'll see you in court on your buyout.
I don't think that you can do that. I think that once you get
somebody, and then
I think you can fire them. It'd be no different than firing a teacher that just happens. She's showing up.
Yeah.
She's showing up to school, and she's there on time. But she's pitiful. She's useless, not just she or a he.
Yeah.
Or a coach. They're not any good at their job. They're not really putting any effort towards it, and you just fire them. Well, at a certain...
Documentation.
Well, you got to do a lot of documentation
I know,
to be able to do it. And then at the end of the day, I don't think that from a financial standpoint it works on either side. And those are systems and
20
processes that have
20
been
million.
built up for a very long time.
20 million in broad daylight.
That it's hard to fix overnight.
20 million, everybody. 20 million broad daylight. No, we don't have to sneak around and get it. Just we're gonna hand it to you, all right? Because you didn't do anything. That's gonna wrap it up here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, back with you tomorrow, same time, same place. For Randy, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it and we hope you have. See you next time.